Today we'll be checking out a full album from Yorushika, and this time Elma. And Elma, I've been made aware, is a character in the whole world of Yorushika, and then it made me realize that Yorushika storytelling is revolving around two persons, Elma and Amy. And of course, being prompted by all this information made me wanted to find out a little bit more, so I did some digging, and holy cow, there is a diary that Nabuna has written or prepared or I don't know, orchestrated as part of this whole world that we're listening to. And someone has made such an incredible work in translating it to English so that we can all read it, and that's They Leave Shadows, man. Shout out to you. I don't know who you are, I don't know where you are, but if you're somehow watching this, but goddamn, you are a legend. So before we check out the full album, non-stop one take, enjoying the music, we're gonna check out the story, the diary, in a very quick edit fashion. So pause whenever you guys want to, here we go. Elma definitely held Amy in a very high regard. I mean, she's saying that, to me, you're the closest thing to God, after the way she explained how God is. I know both of them are musicians, and Elma being a student of Amy, but wow, what a way to look up to him. At this part, she's actually searching for Amy, who has probably gone and lost somewhere. So the story in this album is held in Europe. In the story of Yu Ichijo, it is very apparent. I mean, Elma definitely likes Amy, right? Because she just wants to run away. She wants to listen to his songs again and just following behind him. That's it. Apparently, after not seeing him for quite some time, all the little memories you have with that person will slowly go away, and that's what Elma is afraid of. She is also tracing back to the places that he'd been to through a letter, and that letter I learned is sent by Amy. What a romantic feeling. Come look for me based on these letters that I've written to you. That's the only way I get to send my messages to you. In Yunagi Bo Hanamodoi, we see a lot of things that Elma wants to say to Amy. She is reminiscing to a lot of old memories, and what's really romantic about it is that she's having all this conversation to him, but with herself. God, it's like trying to talk to someone in the heaven. This is the point where we reach the Ameto Cappuccino, and knowing the bigger story and how it's a flashback to how she met him, all the descriptions and everything, it makes me feel like we are really getting into Elma's head. The memory that was written in this diary was so vivid, it was so detailed in terms of how she observed him, and the setting of Sound of the Rain, it is telling. Memory 3, Amy liked the word pointless. Muda! Is that a JoJo reference? He liked writing it down to the point where it was abnormal. In Kami-sama no Dance, we see the effect Amy had Elma, as Elma changed her thoughts about people who made fun of her. And at this point, I'm not so sure if this is a song of a love confession, a confession of how I'm ready to bend the world just to be together with you. This is where it gets a little bit hazy for me, but it's very apparent still of her admiration towards him. Some time ago, he read one of my songs and told me that he finally remembered the words that he would let slip away. You're making me jealous, he said. I guess this is also the part where we see Amy likes what Elma produces, and he is also finding a lot of joy and satisfaction being together with her. Midway through a pursuit, she said that she doesn't understand any of it anymore, not his feelings or what he was trying to convey. Elma is probably having a downtime in searching for Amy and trying to trace his steps. Sometimes these things happen. After some time, you'll be like, is this all really worth it? To people like him who was serious about music, I'm sure my piano playing came off as something close to child's play. But even still, whenever I play the keyboard, he seemed really happy. That is a sign where two persons really am starting to like each other. Now here's where it gets really interesting. It was as if he was living to embody his own love for music, and then one day, he stopped playing piano. That will probably be the part where someday it leads to why he gave up on music. I really like the part of the diary where Elma recollects how Amy tells her that talent really doesn't exist, it is just our ideal, and hard work doesn't betray anybody. But even so, the diary is written by Elma that explains what he is saying, and I could understand it, but Elma, she doesn't get it still. And that was also when the times where she is about to give up on writing music as well. I totally agree with the idea of making sound just purely with your mouth. That's how we make music in the beginning before we even have instruments. That's how we produce, and the way Amy is putting it out over here is very eloquent. Damn, at the end of the day, he disappeared from town. That was the last time that they met? Oh, it's happening, man. Now, at this time of reading this lyrics of Kokoro ni ana ga aita, a hole opened up in my heart. Wow, I can't believe the story that is unfolding in front of me. I am very looking forward to checking out this song. And this song follows after all that have been through and he disappeared. And because of that reading line, like, I never want to hear goodbye for the rest of my life, that really kicks in hard. I got a hole in my heart. Eventually, Elma found out about Amy's letter that he had written for her, which arrived in a package at the grandmother's house. What I can deduce from reading Memory 9 is that even though before this Elma talked about how she wanted fame, she wanted to be something other than herself, but yet again she is still fascinated by how Amy approaches approaches music. But to me, what I find interesting is that Elma is also the one who doesn't get what does it mean by hard work doesn't betray, but talent is an ideal that doesn't exist. I can only sum up all this thing that Elma is thinking about as a whole admiration and idolization towards Amy and the way he approaches music. Now that I arrive at Koei, lyrics, the meaning, it just gets tougher and tougher. I'm already so immersed into this. It's almost as if like Elma is a real person. Memory 10 is where it was revealed that Amy had an illness that doesn't give him a lot of time left in this world. Still, the emotion that was written about Elma searching for him solving the size of the hole that opened up in her head, that is just devastating. As she was sitting at Almadellen Park, I like how during this whole journey, she has never stopped to try to write something. Even though she didn't have anything in mind, I always felt that just because of you being there in the journey and not knowing anything, that is something in itself. And the various point where she is at, from like passing the passport to a train conductor, to sitting in a park, to meeting an old lady at a cemetery, that is just so much tale and so much sound and music that can be written over there eventually. And that's the reason why I love about albums so much, because albums tell a story that is ongoing despite where that person is. The part where she saw a shadow and chased after it was very intense. Now I wonder how true it is that she jumped into the sea and then saw a fountain pen that she recognized. Were the letters really able to bring her all the way to him? Things are coming full circle. God is in your fingertips. And remember how this whole thing started by discussing about the existence of God? This is one mind-blowing writing. Amy says to Elma, what do you want to do? What do you truly want to find? Only that God knows you. Only the God of art really sees you. Memory 12 is Elma's recollection of going through Amy's notebook, and when she turned to the last page, there it is, a song that was titled Elma, and then the song of Amy drops in. Of course, there is a previous album which I'm not so sure Amy is still alive or not, but this whole journey of reading this diary is definitely a point where Elma is recollecting what Amy is talking about. Amy obviously didn't make it in this world. The words that he spoke about music is just so deep, and it makes me think a lot because I write as well, casually but passionately, and it is very tough to convey the feeling that you wanted to have that is in your mind. You wanted to explode it out. Your mind has this unbelievably sounding piece of art that is going on, but your brain can't seem to produce it out. It is the whole process of trying to get to it that sometimes stops people because it feels like your talent can't cut it. And the process of hard work is of course very long, and sometimes you wonder where is their end destination? Where is that music? Well, Nautilus is the conclusion of the story in the album of Elma, and the memories that were spoken in this song, it wraps everything so nicely. The imagination of how if her hand finally touches him, and as well as how she's pictured his sleepy eyes so many times. Oh man, I am getting goosebumps. After Nautilus, we see Elma just overflowed with so many words, and the musical notes keep dancing around in her head. Memories keep circling, and that's where she had all the songs that we're listening on this album. God damn it, I am having goosebumps so much. Now I know where these songs are coming from. And here's the thing, I haven't even checked out the music. This is where we see the student who's already ready to become the master herself. She had finally come to the realization of how she wanted to write something on her own, and it is a whole story that she wants to tell about him, Amy. Now this is the part that gets really interesting. Are we listening to Amy or are we listening to Elma? Oh god, I'm getting another goosebumps on the back of my neck because it's so intertwined. The story that she wants to tell Amy, but it's with her, but it's his music, but it's her music. And what a romantic story this has become, because if you listen to this music now, you know it's not specifically about him or her, but it's this whole intertwining of two persons' feelings into one. Oh, I've just finished reading. Now that I've finished reading that diary, listening to the music will never be the same again. I reacted to Rain with Cappuccino. That is just a music I've listened purely on its own and reading the lyrics on its own, not exactly knowing the whole context. But the music, it's already so nice. I'm pretty sure if I go and check it out again, which is gonna happen now, everything is going to be different. Well, I guess without further ado, we are going to jump into the music album right now. So I hope you went to the toilet already, get your snack or get your drinks ready, or prepare yourself with a very nice food because we are diving in to Elma. So here we go. Also go to patreon.com/AVA Japan, check out my block music reaction videos, or check out my latest full album reaction of YORUSHIKA'S Elma or Eve's Bunka. New music album will be added every month, or get your guaranteed Japanese music reaction of your recommendation. And until next time, I'll see you again when we check out another Japanese music.